This is a story I love by A.M. Burridge. He wrote it in 1910. It was a Victorian ghost story set in an old English manor. I've adapted it to tell out loud, made it happen today, and with a bunch of kids playing hide and seek. And to know about this story is that there's somebody playing that game that really shouldn't be. Okay, Jackson, get out. Come on, come on, come on. I'm gonna be late. Oh, Mom, I'm not gonna know anybody there. Well, you'll know your cousin Amanda and your cousin Steve. They'll be there. Yeah, but Mom, come on, Jackson. I'm gonna be late. Out of the car. There you go. Goodbye, honey. Have fun, all right? Mom drove off, leaving me on the steps of the farmhouse that my cousins had just moved into. All the grown-ups were going off to some dinner somewhere, and we had to stay with all the kids. Me and my cousin Steve, we were the oldest, so we were going to have to babysit. And I had no idea who else was even going to be there. And my cousin Amanda, my little cousin Amanda, she wasn't too bad, but my cousin Steve, ugh, scary. Sure enough, when I opened the door to the big old farmhouse, there was Amanda standing at the foot of the stairs yelling up to Steve, "Steve, come down here. Mom said you can't just stay in your room and play video games. She said you had to stay down here and play with us." Amanda turned around and saw me. "You too, Jackson. All right. All right, what do you want to play? How about hide and seek?" There were two little girls standing right beside Amanda. They looked like twins. "Oh, hide and seek," Steve said. He was halfway up the staircase. He was kind of draped over the banister, his black hair flopping down into his eyes. "Oh, you don't want to play hide and seek in this house. Oh no, like a long time ago, like 50 years ago, some kids were playing hide and seek in this house, and a little girl, she fell down the cellar stairs, broke her neck, and died. No, you don't want to play hide and seek here." "Steve, stop it," Amanda said. "Mom said you're not supposed to scare us either. How about Smee?" We all looked. There was another girl standing there right in the entrance to the living room. I knew her. She was a grade ahead of me in middle school. She had long, dark hair that kind of feathered down to her shoulders. She and I were on the same lunch break. I'd see her in the cafeteria. I thought she was pretty cute. "Smee," she said. "You know that game, It's Me? You turn off all the lights, and then you each pick a piece of paper. One of the papers has Smee written on it. And if you get Smee, then you creep out of the room while everybody else counts to 100. Well, how can you see to read the papers if the lights are off?" Steve said. "Because someone has a flashlight, duh." Anyway, Smee creeps out of the room and hides, and then after you count to 100, everybody else tries to find Smee. And so if you come up against somebody and you feel somebody in the dark, you just touch them and you say, "Smee?" And if they say Smee back, then you keep going. But if you find the real Smee, they won't say anything at all. And then you just sit there, quiet, in the dark, and wait for everybody else to find you. And the last person to find Smee loses. She looked right at me. "Wanna play?" "Yeah," I said. So did everybody else. So Steve went off to find a flashlight, and Amanda went around and turned off all the lights, and the twins and I went with the dark-haired girl into the living room, and the dark-haired girl started ripping up pieces of paper. She said, "Okay, what, there's like 4 of us here and 2, so there's 6, right? We need 6 pieces of paper. Okay, now look, I'm gonna write Smee on this one, okay? Now help me crumple them up. All right, Steve, come over here. All right, Amanda, turn off the lights. Steve, turn on the flashlight. Watch it with the flashlight, Steve. Okay, everybody look at your paper. Okay, now flashlight off. Okay, Smee, creep out, everybody else count to 100. Well, my paper had been blank. But I heard, as we started counting, somebody get up and kind of ease out of the room in the darkness. And the rest of us stayed there and we counted to 100, more or less. And then we got up and we all went out, and it was pretty creepy. It was really dark, and so you'd bump into somebody and you'd say, "Smee," and they'd say "Smee" back, and you'd keep going, but then it got quieter and quieter and quieter. And finally, I bumped into somebody on the 2nd floor sitting at the base of the stairs that led up to the attic, and I said, "Smee." They didn't say anything. So I sat down beside them and I just waited. And in a few minutes I heard footsteps and somebody bumped into me and Steve said, "Smee?" "Okay." Amanda was called out from further up the stairs. "Okay, that's it. He's the last one. Steve loses." "Oh man." Steve snapped on the flashlight. "Really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? You counted wrong," Amanda said. "You counted yourself twice." "I did not," Steve said. "Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn on the lights." Flick. There were 6 of us sitting on the stairs, blinking in the light. And one of the twins said, "Amanda, did you move a step up from me? Because I thought there was somebody sitting right there, and now there isn't." "I didn't move," Amanda said, "but I thought somebody was sitting there too." We all kind of shivered, and then Steve went, "Doo doo 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 doo," and everybody laughed, and we went back in the living room and we picked the pieces of paper again. This time I was Smee, and Amanda caught me outside the living room at about 3 minutes later, so that game took no time at all. Then one of the twins had to go to the bathroom, so all the girls went off, and Steve and I were waiting for him in the living room, and Steve looked weird. Even for Steve, he looked weird. "Jackson, you know, this last time, I thought Amanda would be hiding in the coat closet down under the stairs, so I was feeling around, you know, to see if she was in there, and I felt somebody's hand. But then when I turned the flashlight on, there wasn't anybody there." "Well, you probably felt a glove, you know, or a coat sleeve or something." "No, it was a hand, and it was really cold." I could hear the girls coming back. "Steve, will you knock it off? Just knock it off, all right? Quit making stuff up and don't say anything to them. They'll get all freaked out and we'll get in big trouble." So the girls came back in. We picked the pieces of paper again, but nobody's heart was really in it. We turned off the lights and counted to 100, and I heard my paper was blank, but I felt somebody creep out of the room. And then when we got to 100, we all got up and went out into the hall in a clump, moving all together. And we did that for a while, and then I got kind of sick of it, so I went right when the clump went left. And I stepped down into a room where there was fabric, like big curtains hanging all down the wall, and it was cold. I realized I was in the porch. There was a full-length porch that ran down one side of the farmhouse, and so I was feeling along these curtains in the porch, and I felt somebody's shoulders under the curtains. So I said, "Smee?" They didn't say anything. So I pulled the curtains back and I sat down on the window ledge behind the curtains, and somebody else's shoulder touched mine, and I felt hair kind of tickle my neck, and I thought, it's the dark-haired girl. Then the curtain fell back against us, and it was kind of cool just being alone with her behind the curtain there in the dark. And I said, "Okay, hi, Smee, I'm Jackson. What's your name?" "Brenda Ford." "Oh. Hey, are you at Hosford Middle School? Because I think we have the same lunch break." "Shh." Well, that was kind of rude. I mean, I know we were supposed to be quiet, but there wasn't anybody else around, and somehow I didn't feel as good about just sitting with her now. She was going to be that way, and I kind of straightened up so we weren't touching anymore, and now it felt kind of claustrophobic being closed in behind the curtains, and I started to feel my heart beat. I was really glad when I heard footsteps, somebody else coming in, and they were feeling along the curtains, and then Amanda's voice said, "Smee?" We didn't say anything, so she pulled the curtains and plunked down beside me. "Jackson?" she said, "Is that you?" "Yeah, it's me." "Are you Smee?" "No, she's on my other side." Amanda reached across me, and I heard her fingers kind of scratching down Brenda's sleeve. "Smee, who are you?" "She's not talking," I said. "Oh," Amanda said. She sort of plunked back down by the window. I could smell that fruity gum that she always chewed. "She's playing by the rules, huh?" "I don't want to play by the rules. In fact, I don't want to play this game at all anymore. I keep having the feeling that there is somebody playing this game that really shouldn't be." "I know," I said. "I don't like it much either." And just then, "Jackson! Jackson! Are you in there?" It was Steve. "Well, yeah, I'm in here. Is Amanda with you?" "Well, yeah." Next thing I know, the curtains pulled back, the flashlights in our faces. "Well, you're some pair," said Steve. "What were you gonna do, sit out here all evening and make us wait for you? What are you talking about? You haven't found Smee yet." "I'm Smee," said Steve. "We've been out there waiting for you to find us." "You're not Smee." I said, "Smee's sitting right beside me." Steve shone the flashlight on the window ledge right beside me, and there wasn't anybody there. I got up really fast. So did Amanda. "She was there," I said. "She was! I felt her," said Amanda. "I don't want to play this game anymore." "Neither do I. Especially not with people like Brenda if she's gonna cheat." "Who?" said Steve. Just then the dark-haired girl and the twins came down into the porch. "Her! Brenda! She cheats! She sat there right beside me, told me she was Smee, and then she creeps off and leaves us alone. That's cheating." "I don't know what you're talking about," said the dark-haired girl. "I've been out there with Steve this whole time. And why are you calling me Brenda?" "Because that's your name. You told me that's your name. Brenda Ford." Steve and Amanda both just stared at me. And then Amanda's face crumpled up. She reached out and she socked me on the shoulder really hard. "I hate you! I hate you!" she said. "I'm telling." Burst into tears and she ran off, and all the girls ran off with her. What? What did I do? Steve was standing there holding the flashlight, and the light was going crazy, like all over the room. "Jackson, you remember I told you about that girl? That girl like 50 years ago? They were playing hide and seek and she fell down the cellar stairs and broke her neck and died?" "Yeah? What about her?" "Her name was Brenda Ford." Thank you.